What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms, film analyst here, and today we're going to talk about the Chiefs versus the Raiders and how they were so effective on third and long in this game, be able to move the ball whenever they wanted to when they got into that groove. They started off the game, two of their first three drives ended in 3-and-outs, and then you really saw them start to get in there, hammer in some concepts, some basic concepts to really force the issue against the Raiders and get some of those third and long situations. A lot of them really put to bed and go get some touchdowns. So off the bat here, let's talk about the third down conversions for the season. There's two teams you expect to be at the top: the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's exactly how it goes. The Buffalo Bills are just ahead of the Chiefs at 55.7% of their third down opportunities being converted. The Chiefs at 52.54%. So both over 50% for the season. And thanks to our good friend, Nate Tice, hope to have you back on the show, Nate. 3rd and 7 plus conversion attempts this year, percentage-wise. He compiled the top three, and at three of the Dolphins, 38.5%. The NFL average, for everybody that doesn't know, because it's not something you should know, 24.5. Dolphins well above. Bills 48.1%, and the Chiefs at 52% of their third and long situations are converted. Absurd. An absolute absurdity from Andy Reid and everybody. Patrick Mahomes, everyone is doing this stuff. So let's go ahead and get into the film and see exactly how they were able to do this against the Raiders and what the Chiefs identified against the Raiders to be able to put this to bed and get these third and long completions. So right off the top, we get to see the Chiefs come out in their most effective and the most common formation. 3-by-1, Travis Kelce is that standalone wide receiver at the top of your screen against man coverage. By the way, man coverage is what they saw in every single one of these third down situations. The Raiders did not think that the Chiefs could beat man coverage and get these third and longs down. A lot of teams didn't think they could, but I don't think the Raiders have the best personnel for that, but the Chiefs are probably going to see more man coverage on third and longs and in some situations like this. So first of all, let's look at what we have here from the Chiefs. You have, like I said, that 3-by-1. You're going to see McCole Hardman in this reduced split here. What he's going to do, he's going to run this like deep angle route. He's just going to kind of take it up the field and take that deep safety's attention. On the right side of him, you've got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and you have Juju Smith-Schuster. He's the standalone all the way to the end of the bottom of your screen. He's going to run a short slant, okay? So, boom. Taking that short part of the middle field. And then you have MVS in the slot. MVS is going to run the same route, but it's going to be a deeper. So you end up with this levels slant pattern on the right-hand side of the field, and you're going to see when we get this play going, exactly what they're able to do. On the left side, you have Travis Kelce as a standalone. He's going to run more of a vertical and then release out to the corner and then kind of loop back up a little bit when he sees the space. So you also have Jerick McKinnon, who's going to be more of a boom, I'm going to hit you and go out to the flat, okay? And again, the Raiders are playing man coverage across the board here. You have Abram, who's going to kind of come down and be more of a spy on Travis Kelce. And as we know, Josh McDaniels said that their biggest key in this game was to not let Travis Kelce beat them. Everywhere except for the red zone, that worked. And there's a reason why that worked. So let's just kind of show you what we're seeing here against the bottom. Again, bottom of your screen, man coverage. Boom. You have two guys immediately come open. When you have space to work with, these little slant patterns, they work. And the Chiefs are getting back to their slant game. And a great throw here from Patrick Mahomes just in front of the outstretched hand of Clelin Ferrell, number 99. And again, we're going to see Mahomes just get away from this this pass rush win from Max Crosby. Very, very good. But again, we have those two guys coming up underneath the formation, being open against man coverage, things that we didn't see a ton of last year. And Mahomes is more willing to throw into some of these contested, closer situations than he was last year. Obviously, it's not contested because there was no one right there. They both had a step or two of separation, but he's more willing to test some of these areas and not have someone be super wide open. Against man coverage, that's the key. Now we have the next play, which is, funny enough, the exact same play that they just ran. The exact same play, except they're going to do a little wrinkle. They're going to bring McCole Hardman from that reduced split into a little motion to identify that man coverage. And then we get to see them do it again. Oh, I like to see the Chiefs spamming a little bit because that tells you that they're confident in their players. Also seeing the exact same thing from the defense, and they're confident enough that they can run that same route, flip it on its butt, and run the same formation and do everything else the same. It's a good location of the football from Patrick Mahomes, but like I said, when I say it's the same thing, literally, it's the same thing. You're going to have McCole Hardman be more of a straight line to that safety, and then you're going to have the deeper slant route. He's going to end up flattening out just a little bit so he comes across as Mahomes comes out of the pocket. Then you're going to have the same, with Juju, who comes to the shorter underneath. Travis Kelce is going to run more of that over corner route, and he's going to be double covered. So Abram's going to come over here, and he's going to be double covered with this corner and with this safety. So you have, the exact same formation here. Boom. And it's just beating man coverage. They were able to beat man coverage in this game pretty consistently. And, Mahomes comes out of the pocket. You're going to see this kind of a voodoo throw from Patrick Mahomes. He feels a little bit of pressure from his left side. So Chandler Jones obviously was beating Orlando Brown around the edge. He flashed a little bit right there. As soon as he flashes, Mahomes says, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get out to my right. One, because he has the safety to do that. He knows that the players are coming from left to right, and he has the exact same concept against the same defense. So he has time to get the ball out there and to get himself on the move and complete this throw. This is what I mean by right around an outstretched Cleveland Farrell. Like, look at this one of my favorite throws probably. It's the same kind of throw that he made against the Colts that playoff year where he did it around Andrew Wiley. But right here, he sees it and he just kind of cuts it off short, boom, around the player. Good location away from the defender, and MVS makes the grab for a first down. MVS had a really good game against the Raiders. He and Mahomes seem to be developing a connection. I think that they're starting to understand. He's running a little bit more crisper routes. We saw a nice out route, a nice comeback route, all those types of routes from him. He's getting more comfortable, I think, in the scheme, and that's a really impactful thing for this offense because you're going to need players outside of Travis Kelce to step up, and I think MVS is starting to do that. Another player who stood out in this game for me, not only by the toughness that he showed, but by the crispness of his routes. Something we haven't seen a whole lot of from McCole Hardman. Getting on the same page with Mahomes is crucial. We've talked about that a lot. And this is a nice concept. It's a deeper concept as the Chiefs started to drain away at that clock. And against the Raiders, we get to see here, again, in motion to identify that man coverage, the Chiefs getting better pass protection up front, and they're able to attack the downfield areas. Now, on the left side of the formation, once again, Travis Kelce's by himself, and he's just going to get bodied. They start sending bodies at him. They start being physical with him. So on the right-hand side, they're going to do what's called a scissors concept. Okay, so from Marquez Valdez-Scantling's side right here, he's going to run a deep, kind of like a deep post almost, and then you're going to have, excuse me, I just forgot his name for a second. Hardman's going to run what appears to be a post at first, and then it turns into a double move. So this is why they call it the scissor. You have two converging areas here. And then you have Juju, who's just going to be more of, never mind, excuse me. He's going to run a slight over route here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then the reason that this works for Hardman so well is because he really makes that corner commit to the post first. That's the key in these double moves is you have to make them commit. So he comes out, accelerates, closes space, turns his head towards the open part of the field, breaks it off, sinks those hips, and comes out of that break and explodes out of it, creating a ton of separation and allows him to be able to make some yak after the catch as well because he creates that separation and then he accelerates again, which gives you that speed and momentum change that the corner can't catch up. So again, I want to focus on McCole Hardman running that route, and we get to see here that, the Chiefs did a good job of adjusting to what was happening in this game. They brought Travis Kelce out to that reduced split and make that defensive end be wider. If you can, and then obviously you have Juju Smith-Schuster over here too, so you have a little bit of a wideness, so you can make them second guess if you're going to push, if you're going to start to get everything and you start being more physical with the defensive ends. You start to second guess them a little bit. Also, just moving the ball itself will have that impact. But this was a really nice route from McCole Hardman, and being able to sell that post first, get to the corner and flatten it out and create even more separation off of that, and then break that tackle for extra yards after. Really impressive stuff from him, something we haven't seen a whole lot. The crispness of his routes being there. So really, nice job all around. You see that, they had a good job for Max Crosby on that play because they knew they had what they wanted to in this man coverage. You see here Max Crosby, again, he's in this really, really wide technical situation. The first time this happened where they helped Chip with McKinnon, he spun around and into this gap and sacked Patrick Mahomes. This time, we see him go to the same thing. Andrew Wiley catches him and readjusts and replants his feet, and you also have a little bit of heads-up help from Allegretti, and then Mahomes delivers a beautiful ball to Mecole Hardman down the field for a 20-plus yard gain. That's the kind of explosiveness we were seeing in this offense against man coverage that we haven't seen in the past from the role players. So it's nice to see that develop going forward. Now here's another, again, the adjustment for the pass rush here. You're going to see Justin Watson come onto the field, and that's going to force Max Crosby to come out or a little bit even more. So he's going to be outside of Justin Watson. And again, this adjustment from the Chiefs was crucial to getting more pass protection. Also them getting more tired as the Chiefs continue to move the ball at will. And this is another one of those deep concepts that the Chiefs used with Mecole Hardman. A really nice dagger play. A dagger is typically when you have that slot receiver. In this situation, it would be Mecole Hardman, and he's going to run what's a clear out route, okay? This is just coming up the field for the dig behind it, okay? That's what this dagger concept, it's really more of a two route concept, and it's, like I said, it's the clear out first and then the dig underneath because it clears out that area with the speed of Mecole Hardman, and then there's nobody there to facilitate that dig route. But they changed it a little bit because they noticed one thing pre-snap that the Raiders had been doing is that you're going to see Abram has been used to be more of a spy at Travis Kelce, and that's something that Patrick Mahomes has understood. We also remember from last year when Patrick Mahomes made Jonathan Abram think he was going to run the ball, and instead he threw it to Travis Kelce for a touchdown. So we're going to see kind of the same thing here where his eyes stay on Patrick Mahomes. This safety on here is really going to be really more of a second half of the field cover, so it looks like Abram just didn't go towards responsibility. I don't really know exactly what he was supposed to do here, but the way that safety is playing it and shaded towards the left side of the field, it makes me believe that this should have been more of a too high safety with half responsibility. It didn't end up working out that way, as we're going to find out here. But again, that dagger concept, what happens here is that you see Mecole Hardman, he's going to take it upfield as going to that clear out, but then he's going to start angling it behind Abram, and because this safety is out here, he can't catch up to him. So this is a very good route adjustment based on the coverage. Again, the Chiefs have so many different things that they do based off of what the coverage tells them to do, and he notices he's corner playing with outside leverage, and that safety, again, is in that second half. So he has an entire left side of the field open to him. It's a very good adjustment from Mecole Hardman, understanding of Patrick Mahomes seeing it, and he's going to bait right here with this three-man rush. He's going to bait Abram and then throw it right over him for a 38-yard completion on 3rd and 15. And again, we just got to see Travis Kelce just being absolutely obliterated. You essentially have nearly 3 guys accounting for Travis Kelce, but that brings attention off of other players, and that's why he really was a huge part of opening this up, because I do think that Abram is more apt to want to stop Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce than he is trying to get everybody else stopped. So really good adjustment on two parts here with the Justin Watson, bringing him in and forcing Max Crosby to take an even longer approach around, and then Mecole Hardman adjusting his route down the field by noticing the coverage change and Mahomes hitting him in stride. Really love to see that. Mecole should have had a huge day, honestly, with a couple of throws that Mahomes, in my opinion, missed. He talked about it on C-Dot's show on Tuesday about how he needs to adjust to Mecole Hardman in that situation. When you throw it up the field on a receiver that's breaking across the field, that's not going to work out very well. So I think that if he would have led him on both of those throws that he missed, where he threw it up and Mecole missed that first one, it glanced off his hands, and then he obviously threw it over Hardman on that 3rd down on the last drive of the game. We're talking about a guy who has over 100 yards in this game and possibly has a touchdown to throw in there too. So I really appreciate what Mecole Hardman did in this game, fighting through, keeping himself on the field as well as adjusting to some coverage that he saw. This is a 3rd down. It's not 3rd and long, but it's a very impressive touchdown, not just because they were able to get the ball to Travis Kelce in space when he was clearly the focal point, but when you move Kelce from right to left, you identify that man coverage, and we see that 25 is in man coverage on Travis Kelce. So we have boom, boom. I want you to watch MVS, because he is one. This is a one read play. This is to Travis Kelce and nobody else. Kelsey's running an angle route where he's going to run here and then just kind of come back in, like we see the running backs do a lot, and that's what it's called, an angle route, or the Texas route. And MVS does an absolutely fantastic job of running through his route, and what he does is he catches 25, and they don't pass off. So you have two guys that go with MVS. You have, what you're doing here is, out of this stack from MVS and Juju, you're running one across and one over, and that creates a gigantic void in the defense. And when you don't have that communication to pass off, you end up with a touchdown. Okay, it was really well drawn up, executed. The throw was perfectly on time, thrown to Travis's outside, and the 30 Harmon, the safety, can't get there in time again because he was supposed to essentially be double covered. And great job from everybody all around to open up that spot. MVS again doing dirty work to get Travis Kelce the ball and the touchdown. Just awesome execution from everybody in this play in the red zone. The Chiefs' red zone offense has been really impressive over the course of the season. They've scored a ton of touchdowns this year. Patrick has the most thrown touchdowns in the NFL. Like, they're on another level in the red zone this year, and I love to see that. So we're seeing a lot of the playmakers make key plays. I think MVS and Mahomes are getting on the right page, and he's starting to do some dirty work for this offense, and that's really what you want to see. Two guys in this game, MVS and Mecole Hardman, who showed some growth and some ability to have some chemistry with Patrick Mahomes on third down when you don't have Travis Kelce, available to you because the defense actively is taking him away. Being physical with him, putting him in the ground, putting 2 to 3 guys on him at a time, you have to step up, and they did a really good job of doing that and taking advantage of the space that was given to them. So if they continue to do this, especially against man coverage, I think there's going to be so many different things that you can do, and hopefully they don't come out really slowly like they did against the Raiders and the Colts, because you don't want to get into a hole against the Buffalo Bills. You don't want to do that. It's hard enough to dig your way out of a hole against a good team that, honestly, the Raiders surprised me. I didn't think that they were as good as they played on Monday Night Football, but that's a good, well-coached team. Obviously, you don't have the penalty issues. There are some penalty issues. There's some dirtiness, I think, from the Raiders, but they're the Raiders, so that's come to be expected. Again, please, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I like seeing the Chiefs' offense kind of adapt in the season. I liked to see their offensive line and the pass protection start to help them out. That was huge. It was such a fundamentally issue, such a big fundamental issue early in the game. They adjusted, they helped them out, and it really helped the entire offense, especially on those third and long situations, complete the ball down the field. I'd love to see that. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. There's not going to be an In Harm's Way video this week with Monday Night Football. Kind of squishes everything together, and we just didn't have time and enough content. We had too much content, as it would say. You lose a day of content for that. So we'll make sure next week we'll have one. This should be a fun game against the Bills. If you're new, make sure, please, to hit that sub button. Trying to grow. We want to be a huge conglomerate in Chiefs Kingdoms. I hope you guys can sub to the channel, like the video, help us out a lot, and have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.